I'm going to do two versions of a practice called Ujjayi breathing, Ujjayi. But first of all, I want to explain a little bit about what Ujjayi means and what's possible with the practice. So Ujjayi means upwardly victorious. Upwardly victorious. Jaya is victory. Ud is upward. Yeah. So we have to ask ourselves, what does upward victory mean? What's this upward victory over? So often the Ujjayi is translated as warrior breath. That's a good name. I think a more helpful name is hero's breath. Hero's breath. But Ujjayi, upwardly victorious breath, Ujjayi. What's the victory over? Well, the victory is over the illusion. Ujjayi gives us victory over the illusion. Okay, what's the illusion? The illusion is being a separate self thing that is separate from the rest of the universe and separate from everything around us. So our biology has built into this system through parts of our neurology like the insula and the posterior parietal and the default mode network and the amygdala, these parts of the brain that work to create the experience of being a separate self thing. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to survive. We wouldn't be able to eat and go out and do stuff. So we kind of need it, yeah? And at the same time, it causes so many problems because it creates the illusion of us being separate from everything else. Just take a breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And as you breathe in, you might notice that that's air coming in and air going out. Where's the air going to? Well, it's going down to every single cell in your body. It permeates everything. And as it goes out to the whole of the atmosphere. This air that is breathing you has been breathed millions and millions of times by billions of other creatures, from ants and cockroaches to whales and bears, to termites, to raccoons, to elephants, to dinosaurs. Everything has breathed this air. Every living thing, including the plants, all the plants, have breathed this very same air. We are not separate, and the breath is the key teacher to teach us that we're not separate. So this practice, if we do it well enough, if we do it in a good way, in a disciplined, integrated way, will take us into the place where we temporarily suspend the self-making mechanisms of our biology, and we can find a spacious place of being nobody, being absolutely nobody. And that is a powerful thing to do. It's a powerful place to go, because that gives us the sense of being creative in our choices around self-creation. So rather than being stuck with the self-creation we did when we were 4, and then loaded onto by all the culture around us that tells us we have to be this, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to feel this, you have to have this, you have to feel this, you have to do this, you must do this, you're not worth it if you don't do this. All the other stories that we accumulate around our worth, our value, who we are, our place in things, all those stories become transparent. And it's in that transparency that we have the creative artistry, the liberation potential of being everything and everybody. But first, we have to allow ourselves to be nobody. And this conscious breath practice can take us into that place of being nobody. We have to be nobody for a long enough period of time so that we don't buy into the addictive nature of mind. In our Western contemporary worldview, we have the philosophers such as René Descartes who told us, we think, therefore we are. I think, therefore I am. That is part of the grand illusion. Thinking is a problem-solving tool. Mind is seeking to create safety and to solve problems and to make meanings. It's a meaning-making machine. It's a problem-solving tool. It's trying to help us feel safe in the matrix of our experience of life, find our place in things. Yeah? We don't exist because we think. We are, and therefore thinking happens. And when we change our relationship to thought process so it's not addictive, i.e. we have to have thinking or we would feel like we don't exist. Yeah? When we can relax into no thinking, the no thought space, the no mind space, when we can relax so successfully into that there's nobody there for a long enough period of time, we have cracked that addiction to thought process. We have found spacious awareness, peace, and a place of creative power. Ujjayi has the potential for taking us there. That's why it's called the upward victorious breath, Ujjayi. To do that journey, you have to be a hero. You have to be willing to die to yourself. You have to be willing to let whatever self it is that you think you are to dissolve and be nobody. You have to be willing to be nobody, absolutely nobody. Then you can arise. You can arise. Ujjayi, what a profound practice. So let's explore it. We're going to do two approaches to the practice. The first approach is a very preparatory practice, which is mostly what people do. And then we're going to go deeper into the practice in terms of taking it to its potential or towards its potential. So we've got the two practices, the preparatory approach, taking it towards its potential. And I'm going to cover both of these practices on this video. So first of all, we have to understand how to make the mantra of the breath work. And the mantra of the breath work we do simply by sighing, first of all. You do it through the mouth, first of all. And do it again and make that sound really smooth. And then do the same on the inhale. It's a bit like a Sith Lord, except the Sith Lords, well, Darth Vader certainly is a bit grubby at it. He's not very good at it, all right? He needs to come and learn this breath work. Yeah? So let's breathe in there. And now you're going to change it from the mouth into the nose, because we don't want to breathe through the mouth. We want to breathe through the nose. So we're going to make that sibilance by squeezing the sternocleidomastoids on the front, drawing open through the voice box slightly, and squeezing the vocal cords together so we create resistance to the air as the air flows in. Now that gives us that sound. We're looking to get that sound really, really smooth. Yeah, so smooth it sounds like a gentle Pacific wave rolling up on a crystalline silver beach, on the sand of that beach in a gentle way on the in-breath and on the out-breath. So that wave is rolling up on the beach of our body, in-breath and out-breath. So to begin with, we make it loud enough so that we can hear it really well. And your breath will be about 4 seconds on the inhale, maybe 5, maybe 6, somewhere between 4 and 6 on the inhale, somewhere between 4 and 8 on the exhale. So let's get this breath working. Breathing in. It's building on everything you've learned so far. It's adding on to all the breath you've done so far. You can activate the pelvic floor in the same way. What you're getting when you squeeze the vocal cords like that is increased resistance to the air, which actually increases oxygen uptake across the lungs as well. So it serves physiologically in that way. Let's try it again. Let's go deeper for that breath. By the way, I can't hear you. I wish I could, because then I could say, you're trying too hard. Yeah? Don't try too hard. Don't put too much effort in. It's easy to find it on the out breath first, harder to find on the in breath. Spread those nostrils. Take your time. Don't sniff. Remember, sniffing means the nasal passages are closing. Yeah, so you've got to keep the nostrils open enough. Tongue behind the top teeth really helps. Jaw relaxed really helps. So the capacity to keep that rhythmical, steady, smooth breath going for 20 minutes. That's the baseline we want, is 20 minutes of this kind of breath. So start with 5 minutes. Start with the sound loud. Start with getting that smooth progression from in-breath to out-breath all the way through, with all 4 parts of the breath clear and conscious. Remember, this is conscious breath work. And the word work is in there. It's conscious breath work. You have to put the discipline and the work in to make it work. All right? But it has profound effects. That's the beginning level of practice. This practice can also be used in mindful movement. You can use it when you're walking along the road. You can use it when you're running. So you've got another aspect. You can use it when you're walking. Ujjayi breath in walking, Ujjayi breath in running. That's another 2 micro practices you can take away. Yeah? And you can use it when you're driving the car. That's a 3rd application for it. But get it working well. Use it in your mindful movement practice, in your yoga practice, in your push-ups, in whatever you do in terms of movement. Use Ujjayi there. That's another use for it. So we can start to integrate this breath into life. Okay, great. Now the second level of this practice, which takes it into a transpersonal practice, is about making the breath so quiet that even you struggle to hear it. So that mantra, that auditory dhara, that auditory focus we've got on the breath, becomes very, very subtle. You can feel the breath, so you've got the feeling-based or the kinesthetic focus. You've got that very subtle auditory focus, so it becomes a meditative, what's called a pratyaya, a focusing point for your meditative power, your witness muscle, drawing that capacity to bring the brain into focus. Remember, that's increasing the size of the bridges between the medial aspects of the cortex and the lateralized aspects of the cortex. As you work with conscious breath work, it's changing the structure and function of the brain stem. So you're changing your own structure and function of the brain as you do this practice. You're evolving your brain through conscious breath work. So this practice, we're going to go really quiet now. You won't be able to hear me on this device, all right? It's unlikely. But the breath becomes really slow then. You have to close your eyes in it. So close your eyes. And you can't do this with your driving, obviously. So it changes function slightly now. From being the loud breath practice you can use in movement, running, walking, everything else, you're going to bring it down into a meditative focus where you're extending the length and the depth of the breath. So let's do that. I'm going to take a few breaths doing that so you get a sense of how that is. I don't know how long that was, but that was 2 breaths. That was just 2 breaths. So with this practice, you're down-regulating your system while staying in awareness. So your nervous system is relaxing so completely that thinking stops. You're paying attention so successfully that any movements, any emotional formations or mental formations, that's the beginning of feelings, sensations beginning to move into emotions, or emotions and sensations rising as thoughts occurring in any way, all become obvious in the field of awareness. They become transparent and obvious in the field of awareness. So this is a profound practice, a profound transpersonal practice. See if you can do it again. Start with 5 minutes. Build it up to 10 minutes. Build it up to 20 minutes. Take it longer if you can, but 20 minutes is pretty good. If you can sustain focus on the breath all the way for 20 minutes, you're doing really well. By the way, that's very doable. I know people struggle with paying attention to anything in the modern digital age. And conscious breath work is a remedy for the modern digital age. It's a way of bringing your attention into your organic process. So it's a profound panacea for the ills of the digital age. So enjoy this practice. Take this practice as far as you can. If you need any help or support, get in touch with me. I don't want you getting into a space of being nobody and forgetting how to recreate yourself. That's not the deal here. The deal is to do it gently and organically, all right? So that you can be creative and powerful and clear in this. So take your time, really enjoy this breath, and go deep with it. Thank you.